Hello, and welcome to the Simply Greg Show. As you already know, the Simply Greg Show is all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting the hidden gems in the community, and that's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So basically, every week we have got an amazing guest who's basically doing amazing things, and they come to speak to us about the challenging circumstances they've had to overcome in order to be the bright light that they are currently at the present moment. And today, it gives me a pleasure to speak to our guest today. His name is Slade.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Like how my voice is sounding and everything.
Yeah, you're loving it.
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's sounding crisp. I'm like, cool.
I'm hearing mine as well. So yeah, but you're coming with that nice little beard there. Look at that.
Come on, I've been growing it for a while now. You know what I mean? I have to show off in front of all my friends because they can't grow what I grow.
You know those men whose beards don't connect? They're like hating on it.
I got a brother. My brother's beard don't even connect. He be hating on me the most. So.
Man's beard ain't connected.
Trust me, I know how that goes.
I've seen some memes where like the guy, like the woman was saying like, if your beard don't connect, you can't tell me nothing.
See, when I see their memes, I just think, glad that's not me.
The guy's all got a point. He's like, nah, man, you need to do this. And she's looking at him like, your beard don't connect. Like, you can't.
I never had those problems. Beard's been connected since I was able to grow. I've been blessed. Thank you, God.
That's it. But as you can hear, obviously, my guest, Slade. Slade is obviously an artist at the present moment, doing amazing things. And he's been through some challenging circumstances. But one thing that we can say about this individual, he's kept it persistent. He's been on the go and he's been at it. So today we're talking about how to continue to see the good in the bad and survive through life as well. So Slade, tell them who you are, what you do, and just give us a background on how you got yourself to being in this position right now.
Well, obviously, as they've already been told, my name is Slade. I do my first and primary job is a musician. I'm an artist. I record a lot of my own music. I engineer a lot of my own music. I produce. I want to say out my catalogue that I got out now, I produced at least 95% of it.
That's it.
And my secondary thing, as in that's joint with it, is that I run a brand company with one of my two other partners that I have. And we run this company called Only, which is about bringing together a bunch of creatives that don't get the opportunity that everybody else might have happened or that they see. And we just try to bring them in and connect everybody together to kind of get everybody to push each other onto different pedestals and plateaus and just kind of elevate everybody that we know that's serious as well with their talent.
That's it. That's what it's all about, man. Having that little hub and that community where you can all kind of support each other. Because you actually go, I think it's like 70%. You've got a higher chance of success when you're actually with a team or you've got a group of people who are going through the same direction 100%. Than when you don't, or when you tell someone else your goals as well and you have the support system behind you.
100%.
And sadly, for those who've been in the, certain backgrounds that we've been in, they've lacked that support from family, friends, loved ones or people around them. So you've seen a lot of ballers who've ended up not kicking ball anymore, or musicians who are now in pen or behind closed, do you understand? Because of that simple fact. They had the talent, but no support systems around them. So it's great to hear that you guys have got a little support system around you and everyone's pushing each other forward. And how did you come to kind of like doing what you do at the moment in terms of the music? Have you always been blessed and gifted with that? Or
I've always been blessed and gifted with music. I've always been musically inclined basically because from young, just family, everybody around me, from my pops to my uncle, played a pivotal part in just playing. They would play anything. So it wasn't just like I was boxed in with hip-hop music, obviously that was a big part of growing up, but we was able to I had a phase where I'm listening to like Nirvana. I grew up, my dad every day playing Nirvana. I grew up on Smells Like Teen Spirit is one of my favorite songs ever, and just going through that type of stuff. And then as I come from a house of four, so having all the brothers who dibbled and dabbled in it, it kind of inspired you. It's like, I want to do that. I want to show it in front of my brothers. And I just started putting pen to paper. And from there, it was just, I've been attached to anything music. I've always been a part of trying to just do that. So that's kind of how I got into music.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear, man. You had that background as well. And when did you notice for you that that's what you wanted to do? And then what was the impact that you wanted to make or the message that you wanted to share when obviously doing but at the beginning, obviously you must not have known, you're probably young, just doing your thing. But when did you come to that point where you was like, this is what I want to do and I want to go out there and kill it?
I want to say, if I'm correct, it must have been when I was like 9 years old. I went to for the summer, my dad was always like, you know, I don't want you to just chill on the estate kind of thing. So he would send us to places and do stuff. But this summer we ended up going to my uncle's house, who was like 20 minutes away. He was just down the road, but he had a built-in studio. Yeah. So, you know, uncle says to me and my brother, you lot can mess around. I got like beats that you lot could just go in there and, you know, have fun. The minute I stepped in there, I didn't want to come out. So that's when I just knew. I was like, cool, this is what I want to do, because I was able to do stuff, especially at 9 years old. My uncle saying to me, like, you shouldn't be able to rap like that. He's like, how you do that? And I was just like, I'm really taking in and absorbing all of these artists that I grew up to and just continue to innovate the style and just keep moving forward. So from there, I've always just wanted to do music. It just stuck with me.
And that's it. And that kept you moving. And how has that journey been like for you, you know, wanting to do the music, but then also having real life as well as you're growing up? What was it like for you on that journey that you went growing up and then also doing the music? I mean, were there any challenges along the way, and how did you kind of keep yourself navigating through the system?
For sure, there was definitely challenges. A lot of the things that you, I guess any artist would say, like when you're younger, a lot of the problems are mostly just to do with wanting that quick, you know, validation. Wanting that quick, okay, I'm going to make one song, I want to blow up tomorrow because I've seen such and such do it. So I want to, so when you're young, that's kind of the mindset that you're in. Then when you get older, then like you're saying, real life really happens. Because when you're younger than 18, I'm not saying that because I know people, even myself, has gone through stuff younger than 18, but still, for the most part, when you're past 18, that's when real life really kicks in. So when that kicked in, it was then the stress of like, you really want to do something, but because it's got such a stigma to it now, because of how many people have come through and, you know, tarnished it by not really respecting the art and the craft when you come through, and especially, you know, our skin color, everything like that. People immediately just think this is a quick money grab. And I'm sitting there saying, no, I'm passionate. Like, I'm really half of these artists, and, you know, not to even get onto anybody, but I'm just saying a lot of them don't even know how a studio actually works. They just go in and record on a mic. I had to really teach myself how to do all of these things. So you get the problem of just trying to beat that stigma. And you feel like it's a race because you want to prove to people that you can be successful at something that may not be considered, you know, one of the most important things, because you got things like sciences and people being lawyers. And when you say you want to be a musician, that's like, oh... You know what I mean? Like, that's just like, oh. So I've always just tried to beat that stigma. So that's been one of like the hardest things, just trying to beat that stigma of, I'm really want to do this and help people in my community and people that I know that would never get that shot. That just would never get it because they might not know how to articulate themselves with certain people. But there's no place, a lot of these days, there's not a place for people to kind of train or help these upcoming artists how to articulate themselves in certain places and be like this. I just got that game from being a student. I was just always trying to get games. So I've watched interviews on interviews, podcasts on podcasts. Even if it wasn't related towards my specific field, it was just, I got an interest. Let me see how that works. And
I love that. I love that because even with me, like when you talk about that, it takes me back to where I was, because even when I understood business, like was first like obviously being on the wrong side of life at first, and then kind of like watching a lot of kind of music DVDs. Now we're going back in the days. So I used to watch a lot of the music DVDs and a lot of documentaries and things like that is what I was interested in, because I didn't really care about the glitz and glamour. I wanted to understand how these guys were doing it independently behind the scenes, you know, how to go in promotion campaigns and so forth. And I was learning a lot. So I actually understood business better from the music industry because I love music in that way before I even went into music, into business actually. You know, so it's just, I definitely hear what you're saying in terms of like watching and picking up and listening and then applying and transferring it somewhere where it's useful.
Because most of these things, especially these media outlets, a lot of them are kind of one and the same in sense of like, for example, like I'm here because of my music and ability to inspire and whatnot. So it's like a lot of these things that you might not think, oh, you know, there's a rapper on that podcast. If there's not a rapper on there, you can still watch it and pick up a lot. Like you're saying, learn how to articulate yourself. Learn how, you know, how to look good on camera. If that's what you're looking for. Learn just how to carry yourself in a way that people can, you know, invest in you.
That's it.
And stuff like that. So I've always been taught everything is transferable, no matter what you're doing. You know, just learning how to pick up a situation and go, okay, how can I apply it to this one specifically? And then you find it. Obviously, it's not going to be easy transfer at first because sometimes it's not that simple in just going, okay, I saw that over there, I can do it over here. But once you find it, it's like gold. It's like finding gold because it's like, oh, I didn't even know that watching that I could pick up so much information to help me in my process. So that part is just like, I love that part of it. Have
you always had that mindset, or is that a mindset that you kind of developed down the line as you was growing up in the game and having to obviously do the music as well?
I want to say a bit of both. So for the start, it's like my dad, you know, obviously big up my dad on Father's Day. It's one of the things where he's always taught me, like, if you're going to do something, do it all the way. Like, don't just be half-hearted with it, because if you do that, there's people that really take this serious and it's almost disrespectful to them.
Yeah.
So anything that I wanted to do, it was almost like, cool, you have to be a student of the game. It doesn't, you can't just think, oh, I got a talent, I could walk in there and, you know, just do what I do because I'm that guy. You have to realize that there's probably 10 other guys in the room that think they're that guy too. So if you really want to be that guy, then understand how everything works, so that at least you know how to, like, where you are really comfortable and where you're not comfortable, and how situations work. Because when you just go into somewhere and you've got this confidence but you don't have the information to back it, these days, especially in our generation, people can call your bluff. They will call your bluff, and when you look like you don't know nothing, it's going to look even worse. So for me, I just make sure I got the information I need to be able to walk into rooms and not be, you know, looked at because of, I've already come with I'm an artist. People he don't care. But no, I do care about what I'm doing.
To say. And I love what you said as well, because it reminds me as well, a journey when I came to understanding that potential don't mean nothing. Potential is just being equipped with the ability to do something, but it's doing it that is effective, right? Because some people get chilled out because they feel they have the potential. So it's almost like the laziness creeps up upon them because they know they've got the potential. But that's nothing. You've got someone else who don't have the potential but is more hungry, and they're making it happen. They're hustling.
and that's the part that sometimes itches me about other people. I'll be saying, like, you can't just think just because you got potential, that's it. Like, because there's other guys that, even like when I always compare my situation, I say, look, I'm an independent artist. This guy's that's getting paid to be in the studio. You think I can just lounge around all day? No. I need to be in the studio because they're getting time ahead of me. And they getting paid to do that. I'm doing this for free. So I need to work 10 times harder than them. I can't afford, I don't have that luxury to just be like, okay, you know, I can do what I want because I can spit a 16. So can the next guy. What makes me different from him is that, can he say he owns all of his projects? Can he say he produced them, done all that? No, he can't. So that's what I've been working on for, like, basically most of my career now.
It's true. And when everything tallies up as well, you know, and you practicing what you're doing right now behind the scenes, and then when everything catches up, then it's kind of like boom, because if you make your own sounds, you make your own music, produce, and that's a lot more as well that you're, you know, obviously getting back in return with royalties and everything else, because you've dealt with this, your own project.
Oh, that's on the you know, the longer kind of vision thing for sure. But for the most important thing, one thing I learned, and of recently has been actually effective, is like, a lot of artists, there's going to be up-and-coming artists that maybe want to work with somebody, right? If you can only rap, you're not going to be able to get in that room. But if you can produce a track for them, if you can mix them, engineer them, you might be able to get in that room quicker. So I started learning that because there's a lot of guys that, even from school, I was looking up to, now ask me for beats. Like, yo, can I get a beat? I'm like, oh, that feels good, because I put myself in that position to be able to do multiple tasks in that room. So if anything was called upon me, I could go and do it.
I like what you mentioned as well, because I didn't really think about that in that way. It's like, look, I'm finding any way to get in that room. I'm getting in that room. Once I get in that room, I'm going to kill it.
That's the goal. That's where you want to be. Inevitably, you want to be in that room with these people. So there's no point in, like, because when you've got something that everybody can do, you know, especially rapping, because rapping is like, a lot of, especially now, it's hard to say that, but everybody's practically trying to do it. So it's like, how are you going to be able to
differentiate yourself
from them and catch the eye of that person that you really inspired by? Like, if he sits there and goes, wait, you made this beat? Like, that was you? Yeah. And then you might be able to give him a beat with a chorus on there. And he goes, who's that? And be like, that's me. Oh, you make music too? Then now you've got a different conversation.
He knows that conversation. It's true. Even seeing his reactions, that's exactly how the conversation's going. Like, what, is that you? Yeah.
Because I used to be like everybody else. I'm sure like everybody, I used to be like that, thinking I was just going to get in them rooms by rapping until, you know, I really wanted to take control of what I was doing. I was like, I don't really like these beats I'm using anymore, like off this person. He don't really know what I want anymore exactly. So what can I do to really make that? And I just said, I got to do it. I'm the only person that's really gonna know at that precise moment what I want. So when I started taking control, I realized how powerful these positions are.
Yeah.
Like, people think engineers ain't powerful because maybe they're not big names out there that's, you know, got an engineer name, but
Yeah.
they're the ones that's gonna make the record sound like how it sounds.
That's it.
So if you don't even, you know, take understanding of, can I get another position in this room? Yeah, I can rap, but can I also do something else in this room to be able to get, you know, that person's attention? Because a lot of these people's favorite rappers have done that. They've not started off as rappers. They might start off as a producer. Kanye West, the biggest person,
Yeah.
started off as a producer.
Yeah.
And then he got in them rooms and said, yo, I rap.
Yeah,
I rap too. And they laughed, obviously.
Yeah, they did.
But they gave him the shot, though.
But look at where he's at now.
So, like, for me, it's like I can't sit there and believe that I'm just going to make it off of the strength of rapping.
Just because you spit bars or you got, whatever it is.
And then what happens if that goes wrong?
Yeah. And that's why it's great to see, especially in the scene in the UK now, a lot of rappers have even diversified themselves and diversified their sound, you know, because back in the day, it used to be just that hardcore rap and it's that straight hard 16s, but then now it's like it's more melodic as well at the same time, and then you can just drop in your bars as well. And even when you had a few people kind of switch it up as well, like obviously Daps and that changed the game a lot, like regardless what you think of him, that he changed the game. They changed that game sonically, just like totally. Then there's rappers now flowing with that and then going hardcore as well, and you know, then later on many more people also done their thing as well, and I'm happy to see where the scene is currently at the present moment, obviously 100%. In the UK, because it puts us in a position where it's much stronger, and you know, independent artists are in the charts as well, so it is possible, you know.
We love to see that, man.
Exactly. Now, what are some of the one question I want to ask is, what are some of the challenges that can stop someone being where you're at right now? What is the kind of like pitfalls along the way? Because this is not easy, this journey of going to become the artist and whatnot. Some people have done that, but then you're hearing them also doing their road stuff, and then they're about to bring out their mixtape or album, and then they're gone, banged up, whatever it is, or something happened, they've been shot or stabbed.
That's even
like, this is real talk. A lot of things happens behind the scenes, but obviously there's a reason why. I mean, recently I was hearing about Nines. Come on, like you got that much money, but then you're banged up for something else. Like, what are some of the challenges along the way that can now entrap individuals along this journey?
I think you brushed on it earlier. It was the first thing that I would say to anybody. It's just life. Yeah. Like, if you're not able to understand that this, like, same way people, let's take somebody else in an office job, right? They take like that's their life. Everything they do, from their calls when they come home late and doing all these things, they really they mix that in with their actual life, because that's what they want to do. So it's the same thing with music. Like, if you're doing music, you need to be able to sit there and say, look, am I really gonna devote my whole life to this, or is this something I'm trying to do? Like I said, trying to get some money.
This is a hobby,
or even a hobby thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of them things where people are not able to kind of take themselves out from, you know, life itself. They just want to keep being involved in certain things they don't need to be involved in because of pride. And anybody I work with, I always tell them, leave your ego and your pride at the door, because it's like, I ain't got one. Not here, because it's just too much. Is when you do that, you get into problems. So life is always going to be the first thing that's going to make it super difficult to be an artist, because...
But also, I would say the financial aspect as well, because you've got a lot more to do before you actually get like a return on your money. People do this, like, it takes a lifetime to actually achieve what you're actually hoping to get in return, you know, because you would have been doing this from when you're 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And let's say you don't even pop till you're like 25, 28, 30. That's like a lifetime, first and foremost, of doing all that before you even get that one record that bangs. Do you understand? But it's like you have to be self-sufficient financially as well. For sure. But you see the thing with the financial aspect, something I've learned recently, it's like, if you got a good team, right, you got people around you, and it's like, you understand the vision. Things that the vision, and the things that you actually need, the things you do, like, I always tell my people, when we do, like, for example, we go do a video shoot, I don't need these designer clothes. I don't need them. I'm not saying I wouldn't. If I had the money, I would get them. But I don't need it. I don't need that stuff. I know my music gonna speak for itself regardless, because we got visions to make our own designer clothes. So that's how we're always trying to elevate our stuff further than just being like,
oh, let's go get some Dior trainers to keep up with them. I'm not going to keep up with these guys that got labels behind them.
Yeah,
I'm independent. I can't keep up. It's hard. You know, the truth is, it's going to be hard because I don't have, you know, connections and friendships like these labels do. Yeah. But once we build them, then it's can totally do it. It's totally different. Yeah. So financial, like, it is hard because there's days where you're just sitting there thinking you just want money.
But I love what you're saying. It's like, stay in your lane, do what is necessary according to the capacity you have.
Yes.
Don't try and challenge other people and what they're doing in their videos and whatnot. Use the accessories you have in the moment to make what you do.
Because like we said before, they're going to call your bluff. Because if they see you on road and you're in a different tracksuit than you had in the video, you're all over Twitter now. You're all over Twitter. Like, let's be real. I've seen it. Like, people be all over Twitter. Oh, look at this guy. Like, he's a bum. Yeah. It's like, what? Because he's not wearing the designer stuff he just had in the video. But it's a. You have to keep up. People, a lot of rappers go broke that way because they're trying to keep up with the next guy. And it's like, if you want to be yourself, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you might like designer stuff, but if you can't comfortably do it, why do it? Why?
True. Love that. Why do it, man? So as you can hear, obviously we're speaking to Slade today. We're talking about obviously being able to see the positive or the good and the bad when life happens to you, and how to also survive through the difficult times as well. So he's sharing with us obviously his journey that has led him to where he is currently at the present moment as an artist, an engineer, and also a producer as well, doing amazing stuff right now. So after the break, what we're going to do is just talk about some of the practicalities that you can actually put in place in order to see you thrive through the difficulties in life. Because if you don't have your life in check, your life will drag you down and forget about anything else that you're aspiring to. So that's simply Greg. Catch you on the next sign. See you soon.